reacting really to the Athletics NBA mock draft, where they have basically every beat writer for the teams tell who they'll draft. So we're just going to go through this. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama, no surprise here, going number 1. Now, number 2, according to Joe Vardon, if Charlotte makes this pick, he's not sold on it, but he's saying that he's not buying Scoot Henderson. They already have a great point guard. They need a reliable wing. Gordon Hayward hasn't been that, and Charlotte's the prime candidate to trade out of number 2, allegedly. But even if they don't, he sees this where the need/fit trumps the best player available. I personally think that's wrong. I think it's going to be Scoot. When a guy's being compared to an MVP candidate and has the ability to do what Scoot can do, LaMelo has been able to play with Terry Rozier so far in his career. LaMelo can play off ball. Scoot can play off ball. They'd figure it out. You take talent over fit right here, in my opinion. I think that's wrong. So they have then going Scoot here. I think it's going to be Brandon Miller. And, it's pretty... I like how the first sentence right here, following a series of backflips and high fives after seeing Charlotte pass on Henderson, the Blazers jumped to draft the dynamic guard. Yeah, it makes sense, okay? You take a guy who in any other draft would be the no-brainer top overall pick. Now, Houston Rockets, Kelly Iko says it's going to be Amen Thompson. And I've said it this whole time. Don't be surprised if Cam Whitmore's the dark horse. Why? Because I bet you Ime Udoka sees that 240-pound body, 235-pound body that Cam Whitmore has, top 1% athleticism, and the shot creation ability he has. And he goes, you remind me of Jason Tatum a little bit, okay? And takes him because he has that NBA body. But Thompson fits better with Green and Jabari and Alperen Şengün right now, and really brings some intensity and good demeanor. Detroit takes Ausar Thompson. I agree with this. I think it's either Ausar Thompson, Cam Whitmore, or maybe dark horse Jarace Walker, but they need wings right here, Pistons, and I have nothing wrong with that. So James L. Edwards, if you're saying it's going to be Ausar Thompson, I expect Ausar Thompson. At 6, my Orlando Magic will take over here. They're saying from our boy Josh Robbins, they're taking Cam Whitmore. I don't like it. He's 18, turning 19. He fits perfectly next to Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. We'll figure out the point guard situation. I think Markel's the starter. We still have Jalen Suggs, and we have ourselves my man, Cole Anthony. But Whitmore has the All-NBA potential. But yes, he's a bit stagnant on offense. I think the Magic, Jamal Mosley, will be able to figure it out and teach him how to move the ball and hold him accountable. Taylor Hendricks to the Pacers. They need a power forward. He's a shot blocker. He's a guy who could really be like his ceiling is like what we thought Jonathan Isaac was becoming and what he was becoming before he got hurt. And floor, I think, is like Chris Boucher for Taylor Hendricks. Wizards, everybody knows that Anthony Black's going there, especially if he's still there. This guy, I have said it before, he's the Josh Giddey, Tyrese Halliburton of this draft class. He's going to be an absolute animal in the NBA. The Utah Jazz take Jarace Walker. This is a guy that he fits perfectly next to Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. And he's a guy, literally right here, I've been saying it for weeks, that he reminds me of a young Paul Millsap. I've said this, I've been texting a couple scouts, and we were going back and forth, these scouts and I keep saying, I was like, dude, this guy's like Paul Millsap. Like, I see Paul Millsap when I watch Jarace Walker. I love that they wrote that. Dallas takes Jalen Hood-Schifino. They're not going to be taking Grady Dick. They've said it, okay? And Jalen Hood-Schifino is a guy I could see going here. I personally think Kobe Buffkin might be the guy, but Tim Cato's a very reliable source. Jalen Hood-Schifino is a NBA-ready guy. Hendrick, Black, or Walker, if they're there, that's who's going to go. But all those guys were already off the board, so they take JHS. I personally think JSJ, they had him at a wing. Yes, they have him at a wing. Everyone, I get in arguments with everyone. They're like, he's a point guard. I'm like, guys, in the NBA, they're going to try to use him like Quentin Grimes. Jalen Hood-Schifino can play point guard, but he's going to be trying to use how Quentin Grimes is in the NBA. I'm just saying it right now. 11, Bilal Coulibaly. I'm cool with this. They said they could either take Kansas Grady Dick, who's the safe pick, or Bilal Coulibaly. Bilal Coulibaly's kind of a risk because he's raw and he's not the best half-court guy. Orlando needs floor spacing, and that floor spacers can be found in free agency or trades. But I personally think they take Dick here because Grady Dick's a shooting guard who's 6'9", plays defense, grabs rebounds, fits perfect. Even if they draft Cam Whitmore, they could have a starting lineup of Fultz, Grady Dick, Cam Whitmore, Paulo Banchero, and Franz Wagner, okay? If you want to put Paulo at center, which would maybe be a little bit scary, okay, in terms of defense. Kobe Buffkin to Thunder. I love it. I could also see Kassan with Black, Walker, and Koulibaly off the floor. They take Buffkin. He's a full 6'4", 6'5". He's 6'4" and .25. I love it. Raptors take Kassan Wallace. They need a guy who can do some standstill shooting and play perimeter defense and move the ball. He's the best on-ball defender in the class, and Rajakovic already loves defense. Grady Dick falls to the Pelicans, and they'll probably be surprised. Okay, and I'll be surprised if this happens. A guy who's 6'8", 6'9", can shoot shots like this and tries on defense and flourishes off ball, they'll take it. Dude, I've had the Hawks in one of my mock drafts take Chris Murray because Quinn Snyder typically drafts ready NBA players. He's kind of a 3-and-D guy, and he made only 33.5% of his catch and shoot three-pointers, but he has strong finishing skills and a 7-foot wingspan. I like it. Utah takes Jordan Hawkins. They probably would want to take Buffkin, Wallace, or Hood Schifino. I wouldn't be surprised if they take Nick Smith or Keontae George in this spot, but they take Hawkins because they need three-point shooting. Lakers, I don't believe this. They take Derek Lively. Hell no. You got Nick Smith and Keontae George still on the board. You got yourself Ray and Rupert still on the board. You still got, a bunch of other guys, Colby Jones. I just don't see this happening. I'm not that high on Derek Lively. I don't see him going here. Yeah, he's a monster lob threat. Yes, he could be a rim protector like Walker Kessler, solid rim runner. People are saying he's DeAndre Jordan with better shooting range and more defensive upside. That he'd be a steal. I don't buy it. Nick Smith to the Heat. I freaking love this. This is a guy who has Jamal Murray potential. And he's more of a combo guard with point guard like skills, but I like it. Jaime Jaquez at 19, hell no. He's going to go later, but I understand it. If you want Jaime Jaquez that much, just trade into the back of the draft, okay? Yes, they drafted 5 teenagers in the last 3 drafts. The roster imbalance hurt the back end of the thinned out roster last season. I get that because Jaquez can profile as a guy who can play 20 minutes a night. He's kind of like got this DeMar DeRozan skill set where he's a secondary playmaker who loves the mid-range. I get it. But you should take someone like Noah Clowney or James Nanji. Jett Howard to the Rockets makes sense. He's a 6'7" sniper. Okay, he can run off screens, different actions, and MAU Udoka would get him to get rebounds and play defense. Brooklyn Nets take Keontae George. He's kind of like an Eric Gordon guy. Him and Cam Thomas could be like a duo in 2 years. Dariq Whitehead, I love this. Makes complete sense. He's 6'10" wingspan with a 6'6" frame. Okay, he's 6'6" tall, 6'10" wingspan, 3-and-D ability. You take Keontae George, who's, I think he's got a good floor, and you take Whitehead, who's got a high ceiling. Bang it out. Trailblazers take Leonard Miller. Makes sense right here. You get a nice guy at power forward, and you took, Scoot at 3. It makes sense, but I don't think this is what would happen. I think if they're really trying to win, they take like a Maxwell Lewis. Maxwell Lewis to the Kings, dude. This guy can shoot. Yeah, he shot 34% from 3, but 44% of his catch and shoots were in. Can hit the dribble handoffs. I like this, and he loves defense. When I interviewed him at the scouting combine, dude, Maxwell Lewis was a dog. Olivier Maximus Prosper was a guy, and he can play, shooting guard, small forward, or even small ball power forward. And he's like, look, you gotta buy into like the shooting's gonna fall, but I like that. Brees Sensabaugh, he's a thick 6'6", 230. And I think this is a guy who, if you teach him how to play defense, he could play 2-3 and small ball 4 potentially because of how thick he is. Charlotte Hornets get the next Josh Hart and Colby Jones, who's an older, experienced college player who can play, the 2, the 3, and even small ball 4. I'm telling you, he's like Josh Hart. Utah takes Andre Jackson. I love him. He's a guy who's going to be like in the Jay Crowder, Royce O'Neal, PJ Tucker mold in the NBA. He's going to be a dog. James Nanji comes here, 6'11", 250, insane athlete. He's a good rim runner. He's going to be a shot blocker. He's going to be a lob threat. And he has some ability to maybe step out onto the perimeter. And then Noah Clowney is going to be Ivica Zubac's backup. He's a guy who I think could become like a Noah Clowney. So let me hear your thoughts. What do you think of the NBA's athletics mock draft? But yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe. But that's going to be the video for today. Peace.